Hi everyone! I've just been setting up this camera for about 10 minutes, pinched my finger, knocked all the patterns off the table, knocked the tripod over, and then if I stood back here, I looked like I glow in the dark, and then if I got closer, it looked a little more like I'm a human, and I thought, what is going on? I have not had a very good time. January started off fine with the sewing, and then it got on a trajectory like this, and it was just about to crash and burn, and then my last project was pretty good. So I'm not all that enthused about this makes video for January 2022, but let's just soldier on, shall we? I'm going to start off with two projects that I loved, and then things started going south, but I'll share it all with you. I'll be right back. Sewing-wise, January dawned optimistically, and I started out with a little knit tunic. Very safe project, can't go wrong. Felt good to be sewing again because I didn't sew in December. So this pattern, the actual pattern I used says it's by McCalls, and they assigned it the number 9483. However, that shifty McCalls co-opted a new look pattern. So this pattern that I'm wearing is actually New Look 6439, and it is a knit tunic pullover, and it's got this cute detail on the back where it's gathered. I don't know if you can see that on my busy fabric, but here. Okay. So the tunic has that gathering in the back, and I like that. You don't have to have it. You can have it plain. Long sleeves. This is an ITY knit from Fabric Mart that cost me about $1 a yard when I went up to visit them, and I like it. It's great. Long sleeve, warm, ITY, not too warm because it's lightweight. It's stretchy. Love the pattern. I was ready for more. So the good luck held, and I'll show you my next outfit. New Look 6582. I decided to just sew up the entire outfit. So I chose a rayon challis for the top, and for these pants make me feel very grown up. I feel like they're rather classy pants that I don't usually wear very often. And I don't know where I'll wear them, but I sure do like them. They're kind of they remind me almost of a tropical wool. I don't think they have wool in them. They have a very faint cross hatch check there that you can't see. These pants have an elastic waist. They have side seam pockets, which I love, and they did not require any alterations for me. The top is this beautiful rayon from fabric.com. It was called, I think it was called Fabric Merchants Margaret. I don't know if they have any left, but it has purple and mauve and all the colors that I love. So I considered this outfit a success. It was not horrible to sew at all. The only little tricky thing might be these ties. They have to come out right there when you sew the facing on. So that's one thing that you might take a little care with. And also I did not put the split in the pants there, but I do think that's rather stylish. And I had nothing but good things to think and say about this outfit. Then the door to success started to creak shut. Hang on. I picked up Kwik Sew 4030 to use some gorgeous heavy double fleece that I had in my collection, which I bought from Fabric Mart a couple years ago. It was $6.50 a yard, and it is thick. It's got a center and then fleece on either side of it. So I liked this. I did not like those giant lapels. And what I didn't know is that any Kwik Sew pattern that is after 4,000 is a McCalls pattern. Dun, 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 dun. So it's not designed by Kirsten Martensen. I knew I could shave off those lapels, and I did successfully, but I ran into trouble. And it was not very far into this thing. They wanted me to sew the front sleeve to the front right sides together. But if you can see in that diagram, right there at that corner, I could not tell if that was sewn with a little bit of fabric extra or if they were sewn exactly matching. It did not tell me, and I thought the picture was rather, vague. So I texted Joy and I said, what do I do? I'm really stuck. She said, it looks like you leave a little bit of fabric. All right, I tried. I got way too hung up with this. I tried basting it together, and it still didn't seem right. I left that little flap of fabric, then I tried it with the fabric edges even, and I thought, I gotta call these people. I don't like a vague pattern. And I mean, there's several pieces here, but it's not complicated. So I got the lady on the phone, and she said, yes, you leave 5/8 of an inch. Why they couldn't tell me that, I don't know. But the project got stalled, and not for a day or two. It was a while. Then I discovered that these edges are all left raw. Now I could have found that out in the description, but that's not usually how I pick patterns. I like what I see and I go. Yes, raw is okay on a knit, on a fleece, because it's not going to ravel, but I still think it's kind of, I don't know, the easy way out. So then I thought, I'll do some kind of decorative stitch all along the edge. Did not work. My machine didn't want to do it on this heavy, thick fleece. As far as the pockets go, you can see that I chose a cotton lining. I didn't know if I should put heavy fleece pockets in this thing. So I did fleece on one side, cotton on the other. Nothing is covered up inside. It's not lined. That was okay with me because this fleece is really, truly so heavy. And I wear the jacket. I've worn it out even in a snowstorm, and I was almost hot. So I didn't need a lining, but it's not gonna look that beautiful. I sewed, top stitched all these princess seams down. The raglan sleeves I top stitched down. Everywhere that I could, I top stitched down. I sewed a small, the fit is pretty good. The lapels are not gigantic. I think they're bordering on comical here, but that's just a matter of preference. So it's okay. It's not anything great. And I didn't really like the instructions. I wanted a little more information about sewing with thick fleece, and I would like to give Joanne Banco a shout out. Let's Go Sew with Joanne Banco. She had a video up about sewing with fleece, and I found it very helpful. Thank you, Joanne. Do I recommend the pattern? Not really. Not really. I mean, I like the coat. It's warm as toast, but it is not lined, if that bothers you. And the instructions aren't the greatest. I went from a stalled project to a spiritless monster of a project. Yes, It deserves all the drama. This is Kwik Sew 4000. It has Viv Mom's giant X through it. Do not sew this pattern unless you are a masochist. First of all, I got a red flag right out of the gate. On the pattern tissue, it said the finished bust measurement for a size medium was 48 inches. Wrong. Nowhere near that. I cut a size small, I believe, and it was way too big. I did a very fast, I don't know what they call that, fast and dirty, quick and dirty alteration. Just right here at the third button, I took in about 1.5 inches on either side, and I just plain sewed them down. I did everything wrong with this pattern, and this pattern is a scammer. It's a trickster. It's a snake in the grass. It's a deceiver. It's a gouger. It's a chiseler. It's horrible. And I got real excited. You'll see that mine does not have a collar, and both of these do. I wanted to do the shirt collar, and I thought, that's going to be really pretty. This is beautiful fabric from Fabric Mart Fabrics. I bought it in the store. It was $3.99 a yard. It's got a teeny bit of stretch in it. The other side is white, and it's gorgeous. I thought it would make a beautiful shirt dress. Well, the collar instructions, no. They have you sew the collar onto the collar stand, and then you are to pin that to your raw edges and sew inside where there's a fold. You can't get close to the edge. I couldn't even get it under my machine. I ripped that collar off and I threw it in the trash. I sewed my princess seams incorrectly. I sewed the sides to the front. And then when I went to match up the facings, they didn't match at all. I had to rip all of those out. I had to rip the shoulder seams out because I had finished those. I threw the collar in the trash. I had to take it in significantly here. Oh, and the other thing, these armholes on that sleeveless version are ridiculous. They're ridiculous. They are so daggone huge. So I redrew mine, and I took off, I'm talking about that much of that armhole, front and back. So I don't know, except look at the number. It's 4,000. You know what that means? It's a McCalls pattern. And I am of the persuasion that I avoid current McCalls patterns like the plague. I'm going to get rid of all the ones I have. And if that sounds like petulance, that's exactly what it is. But I don't like them, and they don't like me. Now, I have not even hemmed this dress. This version of the shirt dress, you can put a little ruffle on the bottom of it. Here's the pattern piece. And they want you to cut 5 of these on the fold. So you would have 5 very long pieces that you sew together, and then, because this is a pretty full skirt, and then you attach it. So that sounds like a bit of a pain, but I just might do it because I have salvaged the dress. What did I do with the collar? Just my favorite treatment. Bias binding. Bias binding on the armholes. I was not about to fuss with their stupid facings that are sized literally for King Kong. And then this has 9 buttons going down the front. I chose purple buttons because I learned in Sunday school that Not only is purple the color of royalty, it is also the color of suffering. And, well, the purple matched. But even the buttons conspired against me because they're just little plastic buttons and they're super sharp. I felt beat up after putting the buttons on. And you know, as far as taking these tucks and just sewing them down on the front, I don't care. It's a busy pattern. You don't really see it. The skirt is kind of fun, but there are hundreds of better patterns than Kwik Sew 4000 if you fancy a shirt dress. This one crashed and burned. I hated it so much I wanted to set fire to it. But fortunately, the sewing gods heard my prayers, and I ended up with a cute project to close out the month. Hang on. New look, 6948 for the little t-shirt underneath. It's got a super wide set neckline. And Butterick 6393 for the topper. I am wearing view A, which is what the model is wearing. And here we go. Now, this topper is kind of unique. You don't see these details, but it's got these funky little tucks here on the front. They look like pockets, but they're not pockets. Those are tucks there, and then they have you put tucks in the back neckline. And then they have these really cute little flounces. Now I used a sweater knit. It was not ideal, only because it stuck. It stuck to everything. Putting copious amounts of lotion on and it would get stuck and it would stick to itself. So that was a little bit of a challenge, but I finished these flounces here with my serger narrow hem. Is that what it's called? And I love how that came out. You do have a seam down the back. I didn't pattern match. I'm not huge on pattern matching. I see about 2 people every day, so. But 6393 is good. You finish the front of it with a narrow hem, and if you have sweater knit or any knit that tends to roll, it practically does the job for you. You know, I didn't press it ahead of time. I just let it roll and fed it through all the way around the neck, all the way around the hem, and up the other side. So I like those little flounces. This is the top underneath with those wide set shoulders. It may have been my favorite project of the month because literally it took, I'm talking about 20 minutes. The way you finish these edges, you're supposed to apply trim, but I didn't have any stretch lace that would work. So I just turned them under 3/8 of an inch and sewed. I did that for the neckline. I did that for the armholes, and I did it for the hem. So it went together super duper fast. I think it would be cute with the stretch lace trim. I think it's a good pattern. It's an old one. When I opened this, I got it off eBay. When I opened it, the pattern pieces were torn and the torn pieces were missing. So I don't know how inspirational this sewing video has been, but there you have it. The good, the bad, the whole ball of wax. That's what sewing is. It's high highs and it's low lows, but somehow we keep on going. So I'm going to tiptoe into February. I'm going to choose my projects wisely, and I'm going to take all the encouragement you give me and just replay it in my head. Thanks for joining me today. I will list all these patterns, including the pants that I'm wearing in the video that I didn't actually make in January. I'll put those pattern numbers there too. Wishing you well. Bye.